All right, last one for the night. Um, oh heck, hold on. Dr. Smith is Benneth Shapiro. Is Dr. Smith? Do you think that's like a reference to the Doctor when it was played by Matt Smith, or is she just like an actual doctor whose last name is Smith? Anyway, the story quest we are doing is called Here Be Dragons, given to us by Alphino. We are currently still in the Alamegan Quarter, and I think we're going to go to Ishgard as soon as we can here. So Estinien was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there's no time to lose. How much is this teleport gonna cost? Shaboop, boop, boop, boop. 422. That was less than. Was it here that cost 586 or something like that? And it looked like it was. Yeah, it's right nearby, right behind us. Alphino, Grahatia, Alisei are here. The snowy, the ever snowy castle, grand castle fortress thing of Ishgard. Excuse me, sorry. All present? Good. Let us split up and search for Estinien. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces, the squares and markets and whatnot. You and Mercy can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well. Let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinien. Good luck. I think I should begin at the Sky Steel Manufactory, so perhaps you could try the congregation? Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Cannot mount here. Let us take the teleporty thing over to the Forgotten Knight, Aetheryte. And then head east. And this is where we usually find Lucia and Emmerich. Here's Lucia. Good evening to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what then do we owe the pleasure of your visit? Lucia being the badass, female, awesome night gal. I see. No, we were not aware Sir Estinien had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent. In any event, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. Run away! To the airship landing, which, yeah, we'll take a teleporty thingy to get closer. Thank you, thank you. We'll run through these airship doors. And here is Alisei and Graha. Here are Alisei and Graha? No, here are Alisei and Graha. Cutscene. Alisei.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence.
Hey, Estinien. Clad in full dragoon black armor.
Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
He's looking down at Alisei, who he's never met before. And Alisei's looking up at him, but like he stepped right up to her.
too long.
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
He puts a hand on her head and ruffles her hair. And we all just watch.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
Alice seems to be.
I am not Alphino!
She stomps the ground in a shockwave. Estinien looks...
If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
I think this was a prank.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
His eyes did like a weird anime kind of golden coin flash thingy. And now he's looking at him like in love.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinien! It's been too long.
Oh shit, it's not a prank. That would have been better if it was a prank. I need to talk to the writers. You should have been able to hear like Alphino giggling off to the side.
No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
Oh shoot, hold on.
At least someone's having a good time.
At least someone's having a good time. Sorry, I clipped that a little bit.
You know when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinien as he does Arenvald.
My options are, perhaps he sees them as the brothers he never had, or I think he learned how to talk with people rather than at them, or, well, you can't keep him all to yourself forever. Wow, that one's fucking horrible. They're all kind of horrible, but the first one's not the bad. Perhaps he sees them as the brothers he never had?
Huh, good luck to them. It hasn't been easy being his sister, I can tell you that.
Why did it get quieter all of a sudden? Did I do something on my... Weird. Are my ears broken?
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azisla.
Azisla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azisla, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
You know what's interesting? And I don't know if this happens with all the games, you know, that exist, but Tiamat, if you're unaware, is also one of the most dangerous frickin' bosses in all of Dungeons and Dragons. Why is it so hard for me to say the word dungeons? Dungeons and Dragons, because I wanted to say and after dungeons. Dungeons and Dragons. Ugh. Dungeons and Dragons. If I say in, it's actually easier. Dungeons and Dragons. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, Tiamat is in there. I think, yeah, Bahamut is too. So like a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, a lot of Final Fantasy in general is like comes off the back. That's a weird way to put it, but is related to a lot of D&D stuff. And you have paladins, and you have, well, that's kind of where it ends. But anyway, keep going. Sorry.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard.
He gives a light-hearted shrug.
Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt.
Wow, then what the hell were you reading? It's always been blunt. Very. He was much more mysterious before we actually finally got the helmet off of him, but... And that did take a while. If I recall correctly. Alright. This is where we turn it in. Speak of Alphino on Azisla. Cutscene, damn it. It has been quite some time since last I set foot on Azisla, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet Tiamat during your visit? Graha. Alas not. We had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Mercy is the person to ask. As far as I know, she's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Even now, she remains a prisoner of the Elegant Empire, or, let's just say it helped that Midgard Sormer was there to introduce me, or dot. Let's just say it helped that Midgard Sormer was there to introduce me. Is she still a prisoner? Ah yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. White screen flashback, sepia. Okay, she is the chained up dragon. Chained and bound and just crazy. After the Dragon Song War came to a close, I came here to speak with her. A worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. Screen flashes white, we're back to present. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. In quotes. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her, even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Here be Dragons is complete. We get direct hit vitality, determination, skill speed, vitality, direct hit rate, crit, vitality, spell speed. I'll do crit. Oh, crit spell speed. Yeah, that's fine still. And the quest complete, video complete, last one of the night for sure. There will be a link in the description of this video that will send you to my Google Doc PowerPoint where every slide is an item on Amazon that I recommend because I use them all the time and replenish my stock if I need to all the time. If you purchase any of those items with the link on that particular slide, I will get a small cut. I will see you next time. Bye bye for now.